Hey guys, I'll pull here from Party Time DJ Services. We got another active speaker review, and this time I'm not doing it from my little studio in the basement. This time actually in the beautiful woods of Manitoulin Island in Ontario, Canada. And I'm at my camp, where we like to spend as many days as possible during the nice and warm summer months. And yes, we do get nice and warm summer months in Canada. For those of you not from Canada, it is actually somewhere around 25 or 26 degrees Celsius outside. But here, we do not have electricity, as we are about 4 kilometers into the woods, so we rely on generator power, which works fine for the most part. But once in a while, it'd be nice to have a nice loud speaker you can bring out in the woods without needing power. And oh, look what we have here. Yorkville's brand new EXM Mobile 12. And actually, what does differentiate this speaker from the other speakers in my collection is the fact that it is battery powered. You can also use it, plugged in as you would a traditional PA speaker. But the actual battery powered part is what makes it really very versatile and very useful to many of you DJs out there. I'm thinking of a lot of you DJs that do, specialize in weddings and need a good speaker for when the ceremony is taking place outside, as it might on a beautiful summer day like this. And you don't want to run a whole bunch of electrical lines all the way from the electricity to the outside and all that. So this is pretty much an all-in-one unit. Great idea from Yorkville. And another thing that differentiates this from other battery-powered units is that it is a full-size speaker. It's not a wimpy little 5-inch or 6-inch woofer in there. You actually have a full 12-inch woofer in there. Let's just have a quick look at the specs. Yep, the Yorkville battery-powered portable PA systems. There are 3 discrete input channels with individual volume controls, also Bluetooth compatibility, as well as built-in digital effects, and the battery, of course, all-metal grill, and as always, Yorkville's famous 2-year, even if you break it, warranty. So let's have a quick look at the back panel. Before we do that, check out this nice little handle on top here. I believe you have another handle on the other side. So you have a handle on the side and on the top. This unit weighs in at 34 pounds with the battery, which is actually very manageable. It's also fairly compact as well. Now, it's not as compact as the little Bose S1 Pro I tested many months ago, but it is a hell of a lot louder. And its response is a lot nicer, in my opinion. It's not mid-scooped at all. It does have a nice clarity in the mid. But let's have a quick look at the mixer section here. So as mentioned, 3 distinct input channels, combination 1/4-inch XLR. You also have a 1/8-inch line to plug in an MP3 player or whatnot. And as you can see, you also have Bluetooth compatibility, which is a great feature to have. So 3 channels. And you can actually add the built-in effects on each of these channels individually. You can choose between the delay, hall, and room. Now these, they're not the fanciest effects, but if you're doing karaoke or something, they'll probably add exactly what you need. You also have a battery indicator. I use this unit for a few hours at a time. I believe Yorkville claims 5.5 hours at full volume for a single battery charge. And I don't doubt it. I used it a few hours at a time. This morning I was actually building the roof on a wood shed and played this thing pretty much at full volume for about 2.5 hours. And I was down 1 light. So it wasn't full, the full 4 lights weren't on, but I was just down 1 light. So I'm pretty sure it'll do 5.5 hours at full volume. And if you're actually using it at less than full volume, which is going to be the case for a ceremony, it'll be good for a lot more than that. Battery charge will take a few hours. I only had the weekend pretty much to test it, so I didn't do too many cycles of plugging and recharging and draining the battery again. I did inquire about Yorkville for the how much replacement battery would run, and they are listed at $85 if you need an extra battery. I'm not 100%. It is a user replaceable, as I see this little there's no user serviceable parts inside, but I'm sure if you bring it to your Long and McQuaid, they'll switch it out for you. And that's another thing. I'd like to thank the guys over at Long and McQuaid, my main man Neil, for letting me try out this XMN Mobile 12 for the Canada Day long weekend. Great. I had like 4 days off, so it was a great time to test it really thoroughly. So what can I tell you about this sound? We'll just flip it around for you. Oh yeah, one more thing. You do see there is a shape knob that lets you go from music to speech. That is probably just one of my criticisms, or my main criticism about the unit, because I love pretty much everything about this unit. The fact that there's a 3-channel mixer makes it really versatile. I would have liked to be able to just plug in a mic and like do karaoke with an MP3 source, which you can do. I'm probably a little bit more fussier than most, but I like to be able to dial into my microphone, and since, you know, all microphones sound different, have a different response, instead of that shape knob, I would have much preferred just to have at least on one channel, having a bass, a treble, or a bass treble mid control. I know that's more knobs, but even instead of the shape, just the bass and treble. I usually like to take off a little bit of the bass on a microphone, just for it to sound less boomy and less feedback prone, and boost the highs a little bit on most of my mics. So that's a feature I would have enjoyed, but it still sounded okay with basically from the speech to music mode. It's not a huge difference, because the bass is still there. What I find is when you switch over to you roll over to the speech, it brings out the, I'll say, I'm just guessing here, anywhere from 2 to 6K, because there does seem to be an increase in the high frequencies or upper mids, anywhere from the lower mids to upper mids. So I'm going to guess between 2 and 6K, somewhere around there. It basically opens up the unit, makes it sound less dark, and I liked it. If you're not sure if you want the music or speech mode, you can always leave it just in the center. The music basically kind of like just dials back the mids a little bit. It's not a drastic difference. You do obviously hear it, but it's not that drastic. Overall, the unit sounds very good. We'll flip it over for you. Very nice full sound. It is powered, I believe, by only 60 watts, if I recall, in Yorkville's website. But I'm guessing that they probably chose the 12-inch woofer that was the most efficient they could find. And it is a 1-inch compression driver. So as many of you know, compression drivers are extremely efficient. You don't need many watts to get a compression driver really loud. Woofers you do, but I'm guessing they probably chose a very efficient woofer, as mentioned. And it is claimed 120 decibels, which is louder, I think, than any other powered unit out there. So sound quality wise, I played a whole bunch of different music. It all really sounds good. Nice full sound, but as always, it doesn't sound mid-scoop. It's a very well balanced sounding cabinet. I think most people just plugging in an MP3 player are going to really like the sound of this unit. I really have no complaints about the sound. The low frequencies, obviously it is battery powered, so you can't expect the output. Like here at camp, I have an RCF 315A, which will obviously blow this thing away. But again, we're not comparing apples to apples here. The RCF is not battery powered. This thing, the XM Mobile 12, will get a lot louder than most battery powered speakers, but it will not get as loud as typical PA speaker plugged into electricity, or won't get quite as loud. As soon as you reach a certain level, the bass gets rolled off, which is something Yorkville does on most of their cabinets. But it does get very loud. Louder than any, as mentioned, louder than any other ceremony speaker I've ever heard, and louder than any other battery powered I've ever heard. So I think Yorkville really did a great job on this unit. It will be very useful to many DJs out there, and I was very pleased with the sound. I had no problem. I actually took it, I tied it to my four-wheeler in the back seat, and I had a little kind of like little tailgate party. I drove around the campsites and played songs for the campers, which I'm not sure they liked, but I had fun anyway. I also took it to the beach, where I played, there were just a few people on the beach, so I actually blasted some tunes on the beach. I was like the beach DJ. But it was just great to be able to do that with a powered speaker. And as mentioned, the sound is actually really good. It's like a Bose S1 Pro on steroids and with a much clearer mid-range. So anyway, great job, Yorkville. Anyone has any questions? Like I said, I only had a limited time to test this, but from what I heard, it is a very nice sounding unit. Gets very loud for a battery powered unit. Louder than most people will ever need at a ceremony. So if you have any questions, feel free. Al Pooley here from Party Time DJ Services. Have yourselves a great summer, and I will try to do some more reviews. I'm not sure if I'll do them here at camp, but you can bet I will try to spend as much time at camp as is humanly possible. So have a great summer, guys, and happy Canada Day, although it's probably going to be late by the time I post this. But happy Canada Day to all you Canadians out there. And it was a great weekend to test a Canadian-made product by Yorkville. Yorkville's new EXM Mobile 12. Feel free to have any questions, guys. Take care.